Hi everyone, I'm back. I'm going to do the cover to the paper bag album. So last night I did mine. I added all the rest of my bags to the spine hinges and I inked them. I'll do a quick flip to show the layout I've done. So I've done a pocket on the first one, opens out, and this has done 2 flips with the plain bag, and I've done different sized flips on this one just to show you how you can do different sized flips. Double pocket, 2 flips again. Here I've done single pocket with a flip, single pocket with a flip, double pocket, single pocket with a flip, and on the back page I've done a flip. And as you can see, your bags open at the top. Now I just wanted to add that if you don't add a flip to the open side of the bag, you need to glue that down shut so that it doesn't flop here. So you pretty much need to glue this bit here down if you're not doing the flips. Okay, and that's what it should look like when you've added all your bags to your hinge. So now I'm going to do a cover for it. Now I'm going to use the same brown card that I used for the flips, which is a 230 GSM, but you can use any card you like. You can use a cereal box, anything, it doesn't really matter. You're going to cover it, and because you're going to cover it, that will make it thicker and more reinforced, if you understand what I mean. So I do my cover in 2 halves with a double spine so that the spine's more reinforced. So this measures, well, we know it's 6 up, and with my cover I would do 1/8 of an inch over. So I would need it to be, let me find a bit of scrap paper. So I want mine to be 6 1/4 tall. Then the book here is, well, it's saying 5 1/8, so I'm going to do 5 1/4. 5 1/4, and then I want to add the spine. Now with the spine we've done 1/4 of an inch between each bag. That's to allow for growth and pockets and things. So I need to do 1/4 of an inch on either side of the spine. So the spine is 1 3/4, and I need to add 1/4 of an inch, so we're going to do that 2 1/4. So it's 2 1/4. So that would equal, no, that's 1/4, 2 1/4. So that's going to equal 7 1/2. So the piece of card we need is 6 1/4 by 7 1/2. Writing it down today because yesterday I mucked my measurements up. So let's cut that down. So I want it 6 1/4. No, let's do 7 1/2 this way because it's longer. And what am I doing? 7 1/2 takes us to there. Hold on, I've got 2 pieces there. Let's line that up properly. 7 1/2 is there. So it's 7 1/2, and we want it by 6 1/4. 6 1/4. Yeah, so that's there. No. No. And we need 2 of those, so there's 1. So I want 7.5. Which is there. By 6.25. 6.25. So we've got 2 of those, and then we need to score these at 2.25 on the 7.5 side. So on the 7.5 side, make sure it's in the corner, we're going to score at 2.25. On both of them. 2.25. And then I'm going to bend these in. And then I am pretty much just going to glue those together, and that will give us our cover, like so. Now I'm using this, and I can't remember what it's called. We get this from Hobbycraft in England. I'll try and find out what it's called and put it in the description below, but I think my son took the label off and I can't remember what it's called. But I will find out. It's a bit stronger than the fabric tack. I use this a lot for my covers. And then I'm just going to glue the 2 together like that. A bit of a loose bit there. Glue them together, smooth it down, put that out of the way, and then just apply a bit of pressure to it. And that is pretty much your cover. There, it's quite a simple cover. And that sits in there like so. Now I'm going to cover this. With this one, I matte the covers, if you see, and that does make it quite a bit stronger, because I basically like the brown card. It goes with the bags, and I just think it looks nice if you matte the cover the same way you matte the bags. However, I am going to cover this with paper first. So I have this stuff. This is the stuff that Amazon sends their packages with. You know, like this, like they fill the boxes out with it. I keep it, and I generally use it to just cover covers, to be honest. If I don't have a card, like I don't always have brown card. Sometimes I end up having to use like a bright pink card or something like that, and I don't like it, so, or it doesn't go with the kit, so I tend to cover it with the brown paper first, and it doesn't hurt. So I'm just going to show you how I would cover it. I don't measure things, as you know. I do measure things, but if I can get away with measuring it, I won't measure it. So with this, I would just lay it down and roughly just cut a piece that I need, that I think is going to be big enough. I'm not going to sit here and measure it out and all of that lot. Obviously, if you're a measuring type person and you want to be accurate, or however you say it, then feel free to take your time and measure things. But that's not me. If I can do a shortcut, I'll take it. Doesn't always work out, but most of the time it's just fine. Right, so to cover this, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to glue it to the paper. So I'll just get some of this, whack some glue on. Obviously you don't have to do that like this. Everybody has their own way of doing things. I'm not saying this is the correct way of covering a cover. This is just the way I do mine. It works for me, so that's how I do it. And then I'm just going to lay that on there. That's just to hold, basically just holds it in place, and it doesn't really matter if the glue goes or shows through on the other side, because I'm going to mat it anyway. What this does is, if you're using a cereal box or coloured card or stuff like that, and you don't want it, hides the cereal box, hides the coloured card, and brown paper always is kind of neutral. Brown tends to go with everything in our crafts, doesn't it? And then I will cut the corners off. Now, there is a wonderful lady on YouTube called Carol Tinson, and I have watched her cover so many things, and I picked up this trick from her where you keep these bits, keep them in case you need them, because and I'm terrible for doing this, my corners don't always match up when you fold them in. You know how, like, at the edge they don't always match up, so you keep these, and then you can glue that over the top like that, and it hides any mistakes. It's such a good idea. That one's a bit far away. I need to cut that a bit closer. Let's just trim that off a bit more. A bit close. Okay. Right, so you might, is it mitre the corners? I'm not sure of the word. Okay, and the first thing I'm going to do is bend this over before I glue it. I always bend it over before I glue it, just to get the fold. Smooth that fold line in. And I always do the long ends first. I don't know why, I just do. Now, when I do mine, I put glue on the edges. I'm running out of this glue. Along the top, bit in the middle. I don't put it along the bottom, but I do put it along the actual cover, the card. Just a little bead of it along there. That's how I glue mine. Then I will pull it in at the middle, smooth them down, and then I'm a roller. And do the same for the bottom. Bit of glue. I'm glad Hobbies is reopened, because I am starting to run low on things like glue and card. We seem to stock up on so much crafting things, but the one thing we don't seem to hoard as much, or I don't anyway, are the basics, like the glues and the cards and the papers. They're always, and yet they're the things I use the most. and they're the things I always run out of. Don't seem to stockpile them the way I do embellishments and things. Right, then you just pinch in the corners, add a bit of glue. Come on, there it is. I didn't fold these. I haven't been folding them. That's naughty of me. See, now they don't always meet up. Got a bit of leakage there, but that doesn't matter because this is going to be covered anyway. Yeah, sometimes these corner pieces, they don't always meet up if you cut it too short. I've had to do that so many times. And then you can just get the corner bit that you cut off, apply some glue, and then you just glue it into the corner like that, and it will hide your mistake. And then when you mat it, you won't see it anyway, but it gives you a nice edge. And that was a tip from Carol Tinson. Love her channel. Love the stuff she does. Let's fold this one, get that fold. Covers are not my strong point, to be honest. Just close that. It's really getting low. Apply a bit of pressure to there, turn it over, let's do some okay. Now ideally I would stack that under some books and leave it to dry overnight before bending it. I leave mine to dry, so I did do one in Blue Peter fashion last night. All prepared this time. And then now we're going to bend it. So basically you just, I do, kind of hold my bone folder there and just slowly ease it up, creasing it with the bone folder as I go. And then you don't get that, well, you don't get much puckering. You don't get that gaping that you normally get if you leave it to dry. If you bend it when it's wet, you get that gaping, don't you? And then do the same for the other side on the where you scored it. Just push it up against there. And there's a covered cover. So if you'd used a cereal box, which a lot of people do, I've used them in the past, that then covers your cereal box. And then you would mat it with your pattern card like that. I'm not actually going to show how I decorate this one because it's pretty much the same way I decorate the other ones in the other video. So if you wanted to see how I do it, you can go back. I'll see if I can do a link for them in the description. So now all we need to do is attach the bags, and that is pretty simple. We are just going to glue that right in there like so. Again, you can measure this, but as you know, I'm not a measurer, I'm an eyeballer, so I'm just going to eyeball it and glue it in. Again, I'm going to use this glue because it's a bit stronger than the fabric tack, the like PVA type glue. And all I'm going to do is put some glue on here. Like so. And then I'm going to eyeball it. And again, you could use double-sided sticky tape. I know a lot of people do. I tend to use the glue because it just gives you that little bit of wiggle room where you can readjust it. And then it's quite awkward, obviously, because you've got the bags, so you just got to kind of push it down where you want it to go. Can't really get the roller on this. It does help to open it in the center, and then you can squidge it, but be careful of leakage. I get leakage with my glue all the time. I'm a bit generous with glue. I'll just squidge it in. I suppose I could roller it like that, or maybe turn it over. See, I've got a bit of a leakage here. And that is pretty much your album. So they're really quick and easy to make. They really are, and they make such lovely gifts. And as you can see, it's a lot more, it's a lot bigger, a lot chunkier. These are nice. They make nice gifts. I do both versions, like I say. But yeah, they're so quick and easy to make and pretty simple. So I hope you all have a go at making those. So please do let me know your thoughts. If you enjoyed it, like, comment, and please do subscribe. I don't know when I'll be able to make another one because I've got the grandkids next week again, and it's quite hard to make videos with children around. They're noisy and they tend to burst into the room and disturb you and things like that, but I'll do my best to make some more. Thinking of doing a tutorial on the fold out pockets that I do, because I haven't done any of those for a while. Anyway, hopefully I can get some more done. Please let me know if you enjoyed this, and let me know if you make one. Tag me on Instagram, Nessie's Journals. I love to see what you do, and it really makes my day when someone makes one and shows me it. So yeah, please do. So thanks for watching. See you next time. Bye.